Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Benzi's Chat, Anglo-Saxon Enthusiast, delving deeper again into another episode of NWA Powerrr, and we see a stylish, individualised package, specifically honing in on the women's division, and then even more so on tonight's main event, which will be Kylie Paige versus Natalya Markova, and a feud that's been going on for the best part of a year. They've got some real heat there. And it's quite a novel approach, as opposed to the standard generic opening for each episode, which of course there's nothing wrong with, but I really like it when they do this. It adds some gravitas to the occasion. I can't remember the last time I've seen that. Maybe back when Dixie Carter went through the table, Bully Ray. That was way over a decade ago. At least a decade ago in TNA. And another thing, once in a blue moon moment, was the use of a mandible claw in tonight's opening match. That's a move that I've not seen in a long time. Fitting tribute to the best women's division in the business. And then in the ring, straight to the point again. Once again, NWA props there. We have the number 10 seed in the Crockett Cup. That's Zion and Frank. And they're taking on the number 7 seed, Daisy Kill and Talos. There's a quick switch from the lockup from Daisy Kill, who looks to be systematically just zooming in on each limb of Zion, and Zion then reverses it into a nice abdominal stretch into a pinfall for a 2, tags in Frank, and Frank lays a beat down on a then frustrated Daisy Kill. Kill has to tag in Talos, who overpowers Frank, and one of the few men who probably can, and from instruction of their manager, Austin Idol, gets out of the chokehold, any means necessary, applies the mandible claw, and breaks for then reaching out to a fresher Zion. And Zion then proves why he was unbeaten in over a year in NWA, finding submissions from everywhere, goes from a crossbody to an armbar, crucifix to an arm lock, and then switches in and then grabs the head, forces the big man down to one knee. And in an act of desperation, then Daisy Kill, without being tagged in, races in with a sweet super kick, tags himself in, only to be met with Zion and another beatdown from Frank. Zion then slingshots Talos on the outside, only to be caught, and Austin Idol and then Frank try and lay in some cheap shots. Frank, he's bold as an egg, but he's got a great beard, and unfortunately for him, the baseball slide results in his leg getting locked around the ring post by Talos, and Talos then, after taking Frank's momentum and holding it against him, gets in the ring, finding a downed Zion from an amazing tasty kick there from Daisy Kill. Laredo Kid would have been proud of that kick. That's a real kick specialist here we've got in Daisy Kill. And then straight to the choke slam. 1, 2, 3. It's over. I think Daisy Kill and big man Talos then go through. Daisy Kill, he seems to be outgunned a little early on, but definitely more of a marathon man in the ring. And big Talos, he has that unreal power. I can't wait to see what they do in the tournament as they advance in the Crockett Cup. So we cut back, and I must confess here, guys, to being a little behind on the 8 ball. I didn't realise that Kazana had already been promoted, apparently pipping Kenzie Paige to the post for the presidency of the NWA. It was No Chill Promos who recently covered this in one of his videos. Shout out to No Chill Promos, one of my favourite YouTubers. So it seems like he's giving one of his pep talks. He seems to be a real down the line kind of guy, just saying, here's what I'll tolerate. Bob Backlund regulations, I can get along with that. One guy who can't get along with that, though, is Thrillbilly, and he thought this was America. Flashback to then CBD last week when he lost to Brian Idol, and just honing in on what a rarity that is in itself. That's 2 losses back to back, albeit losses against the heavyweight world champion there, Tom Latimer, and Brian Idol. No shame there, but that's going to be a big kick to the ego of Carson Bartholomew Drake. And he's not one that's accustomed to losing matches anyway. So we return again, and we see the champion, Kenzie Paige, having to endure once again the bravado of Kazana, and she starts lamenting on how he's splashing the cash. I can kind of see her point there. He's He's got enough chandeliers to make Liberace blush, and Hunter's missing at this point from their entourage. She explains that he's out there training and getting Kylie, her sister, ready for the main event. And what he could be doing though is there's a photo shoot, and Natalya and Kylie kind of nearly get into it, nearly come to blows there. Hunter could have been doing with being there to, separate things, keep them apart, but I feel like maybe that's more Kazana's territory, maybe he could be spending less money on chandeliers, more on bodyguards. A lot of big bodyguards in the world of wrestling. I mean, Tyrus, EC3's bodyguard, probably the first one that comes to mind, a former NWA champion himself. And there's Tomko, who saved Christian Cage's backside on many occasions. Yeah, two of the big bodyguards, definitely from the last few generations. I believe Tyrus was a bodyguard for some rapper way back in the day also. Cut to the ring now, and the fellas in the ring there, the country gentlemen. I can't imagine they're a fan of rap music. From what I can hear of their entrance music just at the back end of it as they're entering the ring, it kind of had shades of Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks. There's one of my favourite factions in wrestling history right there. Great team. They're swiftly interrupted by Slade and Mike Mundo, their opponents, two specimens, and also the fans with the Colonel Sanders chants. Props to NWA for the use of managers in the modern era of wrestling. Yeah, I do love that. They use them very effectively. So we kick things off straight away. No messing around in the NWA. And Casey Kazana tries and fails bigly to take down Mike Mundo. And we see some airtight tag team maneuvers from Mundo and Slade early on, seen as they're just a team that's formed very, very recently. And even AJ getting dropped toe hold into his brother KC. And KC scrambles, he's in trouble. He gets out of a Slade lock, manages to get the tag. And then, fortunately for the country gentlemen, they get back into their groove. Some great teamwork from them. And their finisher unfortunately fails to do the job after Tyler Franks, for some reason, he watched the manager Kazana get on the apron and he hits him right in the chicken balls. So that caused a bit of a distraction. The Slade lock gets locked in and we see them tapping, and that's Mike Mundo and Slade advancing in the next round of the Crockett Cup. Now following this, I don't know if this was done on purpose by NWA or it was just on the spot kind of thing. Either way, great maneuver. The production team went back and it showed Tyler Franks having what looked like cheesy Wotsits poured over his head from Kazana. So it turns out then he got onto Kazana and gave him the old low blow there. I don't know whether that was just done from one angle specifically, premeditated, or that was done because the production team knew that some viewers might not have seen that on the moment. Either way, a novel approach. I really appreciate that. And so it seems like Tyler Franks, although last week he was in Kazana's good books, so it kind of made sense of things. I couldn't understand why he would just come and low blow the fella. As I say, I'm not sure whether that was on the spot or not. It does remind me though of the boys in the back moments when Mike Tenay and Don West used to call them out. There's a lot of legends come to mind there. Obviously Abyss and some of the crazy stuff he did. Frankie Kazarian and his insane moveset. I think Crazy Steve probably comes to mind in terms of a moveset. I think he'd have the boys in the back really earning the money. They'd be working overtime for some of the crazy stuff he can pull out. So looking forward to seeing what he does coming forward. And then the main event commences now. We're here, and this is the first match of the night where the viewers get the full entrances and replays during the match, which I thought that was a nice touch. It just adds a little more gravitas, adds something more to the occasion. I think the only thing missing was Michael Buffer doing the ring announcing, but yeah, it really hit the message home. This is the main event. So yeah, nice touch NWA, props there. And we see there's a bit of a shootout with kendo sticks. Natalya Markova goes for a schoolboy, tries to get it, but gets bitten on the backside after a 2 count. So seems like Kylie Paige is definitely the more hardcore of the two sisters. And with both girls on the outside, then we cut to a promo of the best manager in the business, James Mitchell, and all his gaggle of guys there, Crazy Steve and Co. They all get their 2 cents in. They all seem posed for violence. and yeah, gags the gimp, gets unnervingly licky at the end of the promo. That's an uncomfortable night, to say the least, for any of their future foes. Anyway, the back to the ring, and Kylie gets really into the use of foreign objects, as they say in the business, after a clash of keyboards. And then we see this, and Natalya seems to have more poses than DDP yoga moves I noticed before the match. I thought maybe she's a little overconfident going in, but she's pretty locked in when it comes to actually getting in the ring. It looks more like it's Kylie that's a little overzealous, at least in this match. And then we see this. And then after Hunter tries to intervene, Markova drop kicks a chair that Kylie brought to the fight. Hunter gets put through a table, and courtesy of the resilient Russian, we see the beautiful destruction and into a chair. 1, 2, 3. And this sends a message to Kylie's sister, the champion, and ends a great match and a great night of action for the NWA. Natalya Markova, take a bow. I look forward to next week, guys. Thank you for watching. I think let's see what punishment Tyler Frank faces, and see if he maybe collides with CBD, as CBD stated himself that he was going to go and appeal to the president. See those Bob Backlund regulations in action, and also the Crockett Cup. I'd love to see Team Exodus Pro, EC3, and Pretty Boy Smooth against Talos and Daisy Kill, just for that potential Pretty Boy Smooth and Talos head-to-head. That'd be awesome. And I think Talos and Daisy Kill, they've got kind of that same aura that the Rock and Rave Infection back in the day had. I like that. It's kind of a lightning in the bottle dynamic going on there. I don't know if they're potentially my favourites to go on and win the tournament. I don't want to. I was wrong a lot last week, so I'm not going to put my chips anywhere just yet. Just observing right now. But yeah, hopefully the TV champ Brian Idol and the heavyweight champion Tom Latimer will make an appearance also. And let's see what Kenzie, the women's champion, has to say after watching that. And FYI for Kazana, up your bodyguard game. Stop wasting money on chandeliers. Get Tomko and Tyrus in. Tomkus, that could be the team name. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. All the best.